I'm Alan Thompson. I've had a relationship with horses for most of my life, and I've owned horses probably for over 30 years. And my brand is Roan Creek Equine. And our mission is to provide American-made, premium quality equine products to those that demand them. Over the years, a lot of the equine manufacturing has moved overseas. That's become a problem for a lot of people in our community. There's a lot of red, white, and blue in the horse community. There's a niche of people who want absolutely nothing to do with a Chinese-made equine products. So that's what I'm working on. I'm here to serve those people and to bring them products. And our very first focus is on trail riders and some of the gear that they use. And my very first product is a horn bag, which is like saddlebags, but hangs on the horn of a saddle. And so quality made in America, red, white, and blue. That's Roan Creek Equine. And we're there to serve those people who want that.
Talk to me a little bit about how you got where you are so far now.
I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit, but I've always worked for the man too. And I would have my entrepreneurial spirit. I have a side hustle here and there, but I've always kind of wanted more. And I've always wanted to do something e-commerce wise, or let's say internet marketing wise, and probably side hustle mentality kind of a deal. But I kept running into obstacles with that. I'd run these obstacles. I always thought that I could do everything myself, and these obstacles became too much. And then I ended up giving up. And eventually I ran into Ryan Moran's work. That was back in the Freedom Fastlane days. I'm thinking it's probably about 5 years ago. And then after consuming some of Ryan's content, I got thinking, well, maybe, I could maybe jump in here a little bit, make something happen along with some help. February 2001, I joined the Cap Inc. incubator. The confidence building came along more, and I really struggled with some of that. And that kind of got straightened around. So I got my brand started, got sorted through, got my brand started, tried to do most of that homework and what have you. And so then I got my brand started, and now it's starting to get a little bit exciting. And I'm looking forward to, the future and to keep on climbing. We're climbing that mountain, but it's got a long ways to go, but it's getting more exciting, especially after selling several of my products over the past weekend at the Iowa Horse Fair trade show. Really exciting.
What would you say are the milestones you're the most proud of so far?
I'm most proud of that I'm still here and going through that manufacturing process threw me a lot of obstacles. I'm not competing with the Chinese per se, but you're still competing with the Chinese per se. When you try to manufacture something in the United States that involves sewing, which my product does, it involves sewing. That means you got to put hands on it, and you can't just automate sewing. Of course, in China, they can do that pretty cheap. In the United States, it's a different story. You wouldn't believe some of the manufacturers the prices that I heard for doing what I want to do. And then finally, I came across a manufacturer, found one. This is after dozens of phone calls, and it really surprised me how some of these manufacturers, they're going to pick projects that they like, granted, in a lot of ways. But some of them, that doesn't fit me. I'm not even going to call the guy back. What the heck? You run into that. And there was many times I, got really frustrated, but I just kept going and going. So that's what I'm probably the most proud of, is that I'm still here, that I'm still working on it and getting through the worst of it.
Do you have any idea how many manufacturers you reached out to initially?
Probably around, it wasn't 30, but it was probably close.
You're shouting into a void and nobody's answering. How did you keep going?
I didn't want to be a quitter. I quit before, but I didn't have anyone to be accountable to. That was just me in my own little world, my own little tunnel vision. Nobody was going to see if I didn't go forward with that. Being a part of the Cap Inc. thing, there's some accountability there, and I like that. And so I guess that's what kept me going. Plus, I have a personal desire to just make this happen.
With your daily life, are you involved with your ideal customer? If you're in the horse community, you're probably seeing these people every single day.
I do see them, yes. And that is a benefit of it. But I probably don't as much as some people think I do. I have a lot of experience in it.
I sent these weird fill in the blank thing. A little transformation. What did you have for that?
I used to always think that I had to do everything myself. And I'm still suffering from that disease, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better at trying to implement the owner's model. And I still got a ways to go, but I have, hired some people to do some things for me that they're better suited for, websites, some technology stuff. And I've hired some writing stuff. This whole process has made me a better writer too. Grammarly is one of my favorite technologies in the world. It's helped me tremendously. I'm 64, but that's kind of irrelevant because I'm still a 28-year-old guy out there kicking butt.
Do you feel like there are some benefits to being a little bit older, starting a business like this?
There are benefits just because the young people don't always believe it, but you do get wiser as you go through your life. I have life's benefits, and then you can be a more humble person as you mature. And I've learned over the years that I can ask for more help than I was able to when I was younger. And if I sat down and wrote a list about that, it would surely be extensive.
What's your long-term plan for this?
I want to be working actively in this business for at least 5 more years, okay, and build this brand. But as I go along, I want to get better at the owner's model, get some sales as we get some revenue, and then we will add in there and incorporate the owner's model more. I'm looking forward to the day when I can put the first staff person on. That'll be awesome. And then most likely take an exit like in 5 years or something like that.
As you're telling people, like your girlfriend, if you're telling your friends, if you're telling family, hey, I'm going to do this, what has been their response?
They get excited for you. It was really cool. My dad, when I first told him about it, he sent me a check for $1,000. And I made a special point of that being the first check that went into the Roan Creek Equine checking account. And I called him up and told him about that moment. He appreciated that. It's been well received. A lot of positive affirmations from those people.
Now, are you self-funding? Or are you looking for investors at some point?
I am self-funding. I'm struggling with that a little bit. For some reason, I think I want to get just a little bit further into this thing, have a few more things kind of set up, stumble through a little bit more, and then maybe seek some funding. I don't know if that's the right thinking to have or the wrong thinking, but it's the thinking I have.
After your time in Cap Inc., what would you say has been your very favorite thing of that? And now that you're in 1%, what's the best thing about being in there?
It's definitely the people and the relationships. I think life comes down to people and relationships. After going through the incubator and being in the 1%, I've established some really good relationships. I have a weekly with Chris Schlarb every week, and I have never met Chris Schlarb, but I consider him one of my best friends. Next week, I'm having a call with someone from the 1% that we kind of got cross paths through the grind call last Monday, and a couple other people. But this one particular person, he's a half a country away from me, and we're going to have a Zoom meeting next Tuesday. And I wouldn't be surprised if that continues on. The relationships bring me a lot of value. I just hope I'm giving value back to those people too. I had something I was struggling with, and I knew one of the coaches had a lot of experience with that. We got on a quick phone call this morning, got my thinking all clear about that. I mean, how awesome is that? The content is very good. The materials are very good. The coaching is absolutely excellent. I think Ryan has put one heck of a good team of coaches together, and Ryan's a great coach. And I have participated in a lot of coaching over the last couple of years, and I'm sure I will continue to do that.
How are you building an audience?
I'm really trying to step that game up because I know it's there. I do have a Facebook page, Roan Creek LLC, and I'm trying to engage more in that. Oh my God. And I'm so close to getting 100 followers, and then you can see more metrics, within Facebook is my understanding. But I'm really trying to pick up my game, and that is my focus. And now I've got some sales under my belt. That's just kind of gives me more focus. And I have an email list. It's not very big, but it's growing. I'm focusing on email. I want to do some more video. I've got a few distant videos back there about my brand, but they go back a ways. I do YouTube and things like that. So that's what I'm working on. I got a long ways to go, but I feel I got my little toe in the game anyways.
Where can people find you online?
I do have a website, roancreekequine.com. I've got improvements to do in all these areas. Facebook is a good place. Facebook would be a good place to go and see my bags. Got some pictures on there just from last weekend down at the trade show. That would be a good place.
Now, how about like actual cowboys? Would they need this too, right?
Yes and no. In fact, when you get right down to cowboys, they're going to say no. Cowboys and ropers and stuff. And I used to rope and things like that. There's different subsets in this horse community. Cowboys do go trail riding sometimes. So, and in that case, they would use like a horn bag or whatever. They want throw something someplace. But when you're cowboying and you're up at the rodeo arena, for the riding club or whatever, and you're doing some practice roping or something, a horn bag is just in your way. There's a wide group of people that can use these products. It's not just trail riders. So some people just might be out fixing fence and, he needs a place to throw some things. It's a few bottles of water, fence and pliers or something like that. So some of that stuff can happen.